Real Real. Sustainable luxury and up to 90% off retail. Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Gucci, Celine, Cartier, Tiffany, and hundreds more. Shop, consign, repeat. Get 20% off select items with the code REAL.
Okay, this is video just moments ago as the Vice President, Mike Pence, literally ran off of Air Force Two into a rally in Kinston, North Carolina. He is speaking there live now. Let's listen in.
Support the right of Americans to peaceful protest. It's enshrined in our Constitution. But rioting and looting is not peaceful protest. Burning businesses is not free speech. Now, for months, all Joe Biden talked about was peaceful protesters, remember? As Americans literally watched businesses in communities around this country burn to the ground. I was in Minneapolis not long ago with a wonderful African-American business owner named Flora Westbrook. Flora told me about the night, a few nights after the killing of George Floyd, that she watched the violent protesters come closer and closer to that little salon that she built 35 years ago, until the night came they literally burned her to the ground. You know, the truth is Joe Biden would double down on the very policies that have led to violence in America's streets. I mean, when you start to withdraw support for those who protect and serve our families, you only embolden those who would do violence to our families and our communities. Now, Joe Biden explains it all by saying in his words that America is, quote, systemically racist. And he and Kamala Harris say they believe that police have a, quote, implicit bias against minorities. When Joe Biden was asked if he'd support cutting funding for law enforcement, he replied, yes, absolutely. But under President Donald Trump, I'll make you a promise. We're not going to defund the police. Not now, not ever. I mean, we all know standing here tonight, we don't have to choose between supporting the courageous men and women of law enforcement and supporting our African-American neighbors and families and friends and other minorities and families in our cities. I mean, we've done both for the last 4 years, and we're going to keep supporting law enforcement and keep expanding jobs, educational opportunities, and safety for African Americans and all the families in our cities for 4 more years. We're going to have law and order in every city in this nation for every American of every race and creed and color. So help us God. So it's about law and order. It's about standing strong for the rule of law. So we stand here tonight. I'm proud to report President Trump has already appointed more than 200 conservative judges to our courts at every level, and they are all men and women of integrity who will uphold all the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution, like the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, and the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Now, last month, we rightly paused as a nation to honor the life and service of the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But when the memorials were over, President Trump fulfilled his constitutional duty when he nominated a brilliant, principled, conservative woman who loves the Constitution to the Supreme Court of the United States, Judge Amy Coney Barrett. Isn't she great? And President Trump and I...
Again, you've been listening in live to remarks from the Vice President in Kinston, North Carolina at this campaign rally that he has attended. Obviously, even after we've now learned at least 5 members of his inner circle, including multiple aides, including his chief of staff, including his body man, have all become infected with the coronavirus. And as we've been listening in, not a word about the coronavirus. I understand he mentioned it earlier in his remarks related to the economy. But David Gergen, who's back with us now, I have to ask, because just yesterday, the U.S. saw more than 80,000 new cases for the second day in a row. Those are now the two top days of coronavirus cases in the U.S., unfortunately, since the pandemic began. Meantime, South Korea, which reported its first case of coronavirus on the same day as the U.S. back in January, had just 61 cases yesterday. Why has this White House failed so badly to control the virus in the U.S.?
It's going to be one of the great mysteries that historians will look back and ask themselves and puzzle about it for years and years to come, because there's no rational answer. You know, time and time again, the president has made decisions that are irrational, unexpected, made everybody feel, is he still with it? Is he working for somebody else? You know, why is he intentionally throwing away this campaign? It's a great mystery, but in particular, it's the cavalier attitude towards so many people dying. 225,000 people, and Pence is giving a speech about law enforcement in which maybe 10 people or 15 people have been arrested or not arrested, but we can kill them because of protests. They're just not mayhem in the streets. There is death in the country. And why the vice president isn't dealing with it? Why hasn't he gone into quarantine already? Don't you think his doctors would be advising this if he's been exposed and he's exposed others? These other people are surely going into quarantine, but what about he? Isn't he a potential spreader here? There's a lot we don't know on it. And as I say, I think it's going to be years and years before historians unravel the mysteries.
David Gergen, as always, thank you. A quick break, but first, here's Christine Romans with your Before the Bell report.
Hi, Anna. Just days before the election, investors get a key piece of economic data. On Thursday, the U.S. government releases the first look at third quarter gross domestic product. It's expected to show annual growth of more than 35%, a huge bounce back from the second quarter. Now, despite that big number, a record, economists caution the U.S. recovery is stalling, though. One Wall Street strategist tells CNN he's expecting the sound of screeching brakes going into the fourth quarter. The latest jobless benefit data was mixed. First-time claims fell below 800,000 for the first time since mid-March. But the number of people on pandemic emergency unemployment compensation rose by 500,000. That's money for those who've been maxed out on state benefits. Big tech is also in focus this week. The CEOs of Facebook, Twitter, and Google face a Senate grilling on Wednesday. Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey, and Sundar Pichai will appear remotely to answer questions about a key legal protection for online platforms. It's also a huge week for tech earnings. Facebook, Apple, and Alphabet, as well as Microsoft, Twitter, and Amazon report their quarterly results. Expectations are high since those are the companies that have led the stock market higher. In New York, I'm Christine Romans.
Before the Bell, brought to you by E-Trade. Trade commission-free today with no account minimums. And go to cnn.com/beforethebell to stay on top of markets and sign up for the daily newsletter.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, son.
No, Dad, it's a video call. You gotta move the phone in front of you like it's a mirror, Dad, you know.
Okay. How's that?
Is that how you hold a mirror?
Power E-Trade gives you an award-winning mobile app with powerful, easy-to-use tools and interactive charts to give you an edge, 24/7 support when you need it the most, plus $0 commissions for online U.S.-listed stocks. Don't get mad, get E-Trade and start trading today.
I could only eat on one side of my mouth, so it would be painful for me. Clear Choice put my fears to rest first.
Implants are going to give people that full aspect of their life back. The transformation, it really can be done in one day because we have the whole team there in one place.
Getting dental implants gives you back your confidence, your security, your stability.
Because of the research that I've started to do on Ancestry, with documents, with photographs, I get to define myself through the scores of people who led to me.
Bring your family history to life like never before. Get started for free at Ancestry.com. Vets get sick too, protection.
Lysol laundry sanitizer kills 99.9% of illness-causing bacteria detergents leave behind. Proven to